So you want to go get fitted for custom clubs. You're looking at a bunch of places who are running some great promotions right now, but these are the things you need to know before you book that reservation.
Be the right club today. Yes!
What's going on, guys? G2 here with 3-Putt Bogey, and today I want to talk about getting fitted. It's extremely convenient right now to be able to go to your local golf superstore, like a Golf Galaxy or PGA Tour Superstore or anything along those lines, and get fitted for custom clubs. You also have your specific OEM fitters like PXG, or if you go to your club's demo day, may have Mizuno, Titleist, TaylorMade, Ping, etc. Or if by chance you go to a specific OEM fitting, like at a Titleist Performance Institute or a TaylorMade Institute. These are the things that you're going to need to know beforehand before you book those reservations. And I personally just went through 2 fittings to prepare for this video, just so I can make sure that we're all on the same page here. So I went to PXG for a fitting, and I also went to PGA Superstore. But these are the things that I learned, because it has changed dramatically since I was in the golf industry to what fitting looks like now. And you want to go into that and not waste your time and not waste the fitter's time, but more importantly, you're there to get the information that you need. So while I'm not going to say which one is better than the other, because they're all relative, honestly, I think we're all in the same place now with what they offer and how they offer it, but there are some slight differences, and we're going to get into those in a second. The first thing right now is the promotions. Everyone is running some kind of fitting promotion, because we are getting to that point where the club manufacturers are not maybe seeing the sales on their 2025 clubs that they normally would. So they're going to make this easily accessible for you to go in and get upgraded into the most current set. Now, the most current set may not be the best set for you, and that's where I want to start. To get the most out of a fitting, you need to have consistency in your swing. Now, it doesn't mean you have to have a consistently perfect swing. You need to have a consistent ball flight. So if you are constantly slicing, that is a consistent ball flight. Granted, not a great ball flight, but it's consistent. You need to have, more times than not, I would say, out of 10 drives with your driver, 7 of them always go right. See, the other thing I would say is, if you're new to golf, meaning like within the first year, don't even waste your time doing this, because you're not going to get anything out of it. You're going to grow out of those clubs, and what's going to happen is the fitter is going to fit you to a very inconsistent swing, and you're not going to really get the most out of it. If you have established that swing, whatever that path looks like, whatever that ball flight looks like, you know kind of this is what's going to happen more times than not. Know your specs. I specifically went without my clubs because I didn't want to hit my clubs against what they had, and I didn't want them to use my specs to try to fit me into what they were using. So don't go with your clubs. What I would suggest you do is write them down. This is what I have. This is what I'm playing. This is what the shaft flex is of my driver. This is what the setting is that I use it if I have an adjustable driver head. This is what the loft is on the driver. This is the length. All that stuff we've gone on the channel. You know how to measure this thing. And one of the oldest tricks in the books that club makers have been doing for decades is they say that a club hits, these irons are the furthest that they've ever been hit, right? They're the longest irons ever. Well, it's not because of the material or the make per se. A lot of these are just making their clubs stronger. And that's how they make you think that you're hitting it farther. So know your specs. Write it down and go in with that, not with your clubs. Have an idea for why you're going to this fitting. A full fitting is just too much, I think, for one setting. You know, a sitting of 2 hours long to get fit from everything from driver to putter. That's a lot going on there. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to start to fatigue. So by the time you get down to, unfortunately, the clubs that matter the most, meaning your irons and your wedges and your putter, you're going to be so exhausted that you're going to be putting bad swings on them. And honestly, fitters should be going from putter backwards, in my opinion, because you're starting with the scoring clubs and then working up to the driver. But they typically don't do that. They go for the big dog right off the bat. A lot of these are being done indoors. And while I understand the convenience of using a simulator to replicate what will happen on the course, my personal experience at one of these fitters that I went to was that the ball flight that was being mapped on their TrackMan was not at all what I hit, right? I am a push fade person. That's my ball flight. It has always been my ball flight. And when I get up to that and I'm hitting baby draws, I know something is wonky. So when the numbers don't match what I'm seeing on the simulator, I get suspect. I wonder, is the simulator calibrated properly? Are they manufacturing or manipulating the data in there to give me a ball flight that is, obviously I would love to have a little baby draw, but I know I don't, and I know I don't have the swing, the slightly outside to in swing to create a baby draw. It's just not happening. Be a little skeptical when you're using a simulator. Really focus on, if that's all you can do, focus on the feel and try to look at the numbers as much as possible and ignore the flight model. What I would suggest is if you can have a fitting done outside or something where you can physically see the ball flight, that is always preferable than doing it in a simulator. The next one is kind of the all 3-in-1, and it goes to your physical performance at the fitting. So don't change your swing, right? Swing like you're on the golf course. Don't do anything funny. Don't try to swing harder to impress the fitter. The fitters have a tendency to say, oh yeah, you really hit that one fast. Look at your ball speed, 150 miles an hour or 148 miles per hour. That's the best ball speed you had. Psychologically, this messes you up. This puts you in a position where now you're like, you've got that positive reinforcement from the fitter who is supposed to be knowledgeable and an expert in their field. So now you're going to think to yourself, oh, let me swing harder. Wrong, 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 mistake. Do not do that. Continue to stay and swing within yourself using your normal golf course swing. Don't get caught up in speed. And the other thing I'm going to add, and this happened at one of my fittings, don't let the fitter turn your fitting into a lesson, okay? As a club fitter, you should be fitting the club to the person, not the person to the club. If I hold my grip with a strong grip, you're just going to have to deal with that. If I like to have my ball position on my driver inside of my lead foot, that's the way it is. Don't tell me to move it forward, which is what they did, and I told them no. That's not where my ball goes. My ball goes here, and it always is going here, so I'm not going to change it. You have to be firm and confident and flat out say, no, I'm not changing that. If you don't have a club that can fit me with the swing that I'm bringing you, then it's just not going to work out for you today. And I promise if you stay confident and firm in that with them, you will get much more out of your fitting than you would if you kind of allowed them to bully you around and turn your fitting into a lesson. Absolutely, that is the biggest pet peeve I could ever have with fittings. This is a fitting, it's not a lesson, okay? You are not a PGA professional. You are not a swing coach. You're a fitter. Don't try to change the swing. Ask about the return policy, ask about the warranty, all of those things. Make sure that if this is something that you get, and it could be custom, some custom clubs are non-returnable. If I get this out on the course and it's absolutely horrible, can I bring it back? Some of them will not allow you to bring it back once it's been hit. So keep that in mind as well. And the final thing is, if you just go there and you end up not trying to buy something, or maybe you find something you really like, but you don't want to pay for it right now or want to buy it right now, write it down yourself. Write down the specs. A lot of these fitters will not give you the specs unless you buy something. Okay, they won't just say, okay, yeah, hey, you're a 2-degree upright in your irons, you're a 10.5, regular flex, 50-gram shaft in your driver. They won't tell you that stuff. So as they're giving you the clubs, pay attention. What club was it? What kind of shaft was it? What setting? And write it down. Because you can always go back later and maybe be able to find a club that is used or cheaper or on sale and not have to go through the fitter. Now, just as a little closing thing here, this is actually a quote that I got from PXG. The hybrid that I was looking at, their 0311 Black Ops, is a retail price of $289. Okay? When everything was said and done, the way that I had tested it, and he said, oh, this is the perfect hybrid for you, the cost of that hybrid was $499. So $210 more than the base cost of the hybrid. And the charge of that was a $10 charge for an upgraded grip, and then a $200 charge to upgrade the shaft. And this is where I'm going to finish. Markup for these clubs are in the custom specs. So the grip and the shaft. They are going to charge you through the nose for these brand new shafts that just came out, where if you just get the club as basic, right? Let's say that $299 hybrid that I liked. Knowing that, and you watch this channel and we show you how to do that, how to change shafts, how to change grips. Get it at $299. Say, nope, I don't want that. I don't want that shaft on there. Just give me the base shaft. And then you can go after the fact and buy a shaft or the similar shaft with similar specs, or maybe the previous year's model shaft, which is now not $200. It's probably $89 or $59 or even less. Or get a used shaft and put that in yourself. And now you've created the spec yourself at a fraction of the price that they wanted to charge you. So at the end of the day, getting fitted for clubs is the right move if you are really serious about golf and improving your game. And you need to be confident when you are in with that fitter. They are the salesman of the golf store. If they smell fear, they're going to go for blood. So be confident in why you're there. Be confident in what you want, and don't be afraid to walk away if you're not getting exactly what you're looking for, because I promise you there's another fitter out there that will get you exactly what you want. So until next time, make sure that you swing as hard as you can, just in case you hit the ball. G2 out.